Well, it's that time again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the interview with Craig Veltri.
Thank you, Megan Pennington, and welcome to the interview. Our guests are a New England duo that, to quote their Bible, lives in the friction between humor and heartbreak, the profound and the absurd. The gravelly, often mournful tones of their songs recall Springsteen at his most muted, Tom Waits at his most vulnerable, John Prine at his snarkiest, while playing riffs Paul Simon would smile at in appreciation at. The Low Stakes self-titled EP is available featuring La La Land, which we will play at the end of this episode, and is available on SoundCloud and the lowstakesband.com. Recording in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and calling in from New Hampshire, Eric Colville and Ann Holbrook, the Low Stakes. Eric, welcome to the interview.
Thank you, Craig. Happy to be here.
And Ann, welcome to the interview.
Thank you.
Now, I'll start with you, Eric, because a lot of these songs, Philadelphia in particular, were songs that you had released on your own. How did Ann come into the picture, or did Ann, in fact, reach out to you for this project?
Well, I had put out Philadelphia in a previous album, and when it's kind of a little bit convoluted, that I had that one out, and I met Ann, and we were going to start working together. And I didn't want this album to be, you've heard us, you want to buy an album, now it's someone that's not on the album. So we kind of re-recorded that one in a different way for this album particularly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, how did this come together, Philadelphia notwithstanding?
Well, the interesting thing is when I first moved here, I didn't know anybody. So I thought, what the hell? I'll take a shot at Craigslist. I'll throw something in exactly what I want on Craigslist and see if I can, beat the bushes and something will come out.
Yeah, that was pretty wild that we can say we met on Craigslist. But I was singing with a couple different projects at that time, which were winding down a little bit. And so I like to just look through, see what people are doing. And I saw a listing that said, looking for a female harmony singer with a low voice who harmonizes naturally, no sopranos need apply, or something like that. I thought, that's me.
Amen.
And so I wrote to him, I said, I fit your description exactly. Send me some songs. And then when I listened to them, I said, damn, this guy has written some good stuff. I would really like to sing with him. And so we got together, tried a couple of the tunes that he'd sent me, and it just clicked. And I love harmony singing, duo singing. So that's how it worked out.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, we're making history.
So what constituted the move? I know that, Eric, you're from north of Boston. Why were you seeking a change of scenery and change of scenery up a little further north?
It's got that story. The answer has so many facets. I'm afraid that we probably couldn't fit it all on a podcast with a straight face.
Okay, very well.
We'll just leave that one aside for now, I think.
Okay. Well, regardless, you did manage to find each other. Now, we mentioned Philadelphia, which is on the record, and how many of those songs are actually not I don't want to use are re-recording, shall we say, of previous songs? How many of the 6 tracks on this record are Low Stakes co-writes?
Yeah, there's 4 that have been done before, and there's 2 that have not been released before. We're going to do 2. So yeah, just those 2 right now. I don't know if we're already starting another album, so I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. But there's 2 brand new ones and 2 that have been previously released, but not with Ann.
Well, the Simon and Garfunkel influence as far as the harmony arrangements are concerned, and now it seems like it's the Simon and Garfunkel, Simon bringing in most of the songs for it as well. So let's take a look in the rehearsal hall. And is it just really you've heard the songs before, you're hearing the songs at the moment? Is it you just kind of chiming in and just trying to fit where your voice is fitting?
Essentially I listen to the original recordings, all of them, but I don't really follow that necessarily. Many of the harmonies still fall naturally where they were on the original recordings. But I like to try different kinds of lines, and Eric and I will work something out. We'll, say move the capo up and down the guitar neck to try to find exactly the right key that's going to fit where I'm going to harmonize.
I'm not ashamed.
No, capos are wonderful. I love them. And I've been harmonizing my whole life. Simon and Garfunkel is one influence, but of course the Beatles, 60s British invasion, Americana music, folk music, Broadway musicals. I love to harmonize. My daughters used to say to me, "No, don't harmonize, Mom." Right, but
can't harmonize. Happy
especially
birthday,
to Green Day.
sake.
My daughter said, "Don't."
Oh, you're that person. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
Well,
so we try different things.
The cool thing with Ann is that, like, I have an idea of the harmony, but I can ask her, just sing something is probably what I want. And the first thing she sings is perfectly acceptable. We might change a note or two, but it's not like pulling teeth and like, oh my God, can I get this person to do it? She gets it like right away. So we have more time to be picky because we're not struggling with the part.
Yeah, and sometimes we're even trying, well, should we sing it an octave higher? Should I sing it an octave higher? Should I go lower? Because I can sing lower than Eric or higher than Eric, depending.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. No, you can't. Yeah.
I think we found the next low stakes cover here. Continue.
Yeah. That's
Anything
I
you
sing
can do.
higher than you. She sings higher than me.
Yeah. So, and I love that collaboration. So we find it, and then sometimes we change it too.
Yeah. You know how it is. Things evolve.
Yeah.
Well, as far as the evolution of your songs, we've already broached a song like Philadelphia as well. A lot of the songs seem to have similar themes of longing for home, longing for a better place. I've known people from Philadelphia, and even they talk about the flaws of that city quite often, usually in a deprecating sort of way. This is one of the few times I've actually heard a very sincere kind of a love letter to the city of brotherly love. Philadelphia freedom, yes, but but this is one that actually kind of had like just a kind of a almost a somber tone to it. Talk to me about the writing of that song. You obviously have ties to the New England area, but are you in fact originally from Philadelphia?
I am. Basically, I left there when I was, I guess, 11. There was a divorce. There was a lot of complications about what I should do. I ultimately left Philadelphia. But I think, over time, I kind of felt like maybe I shouldn't have. It's sort of revisiting the whole idea. Was it the right move? Did I do the right thing? I mean, you're 11 years old. But because I didn't go back for many years, Philadelphia, when I did finally go back, it was sort of a time capsule of my youth, of my childhood, I should say. And I could always feel that. Everything was familiar. Nothing had changed. The accents of the people, like I said, the weeds beside the highway looked right to me. There's certain something about it that really felt home to me. And I've been working on this for, probably 20 years, rolling it around in my mind before I distill it down to that song.
Yeah. And actually, that was the first song of Eric's that I fell in love with because I understood it. I grew up in Indianapolis, very different place, and then I moved away as a teenager and never went back to live. I lived in New York and San Francisco and then New England. So really different places, but I understood that feeling immediately.
I think everyone does.
Yeah, everyone does.
Oh yeah, I'm originally from Pittsburgh, and I moved away to Charlotte, North Carolina when I was 13 years old, and I'm a songwriter as well. I've kind of had an idea or two that are unfinished about how much I missed home and how much I wish I could have gone back. In fact, there's a song on my last record. Previous record, I like to say previous because people say last. It's like, oh, I hope it's your last. But Can't Come Back is definitely about getting away from a city. Mine was a little bit less, was a little more French Armstrong, and but yours is definitely not. So yeah, everybody I think has gone through that for sure, and that's what really speaks to me and why I bring it up. However, I do think I mentioned that La La Land is going to be played at the end of this episode, the Craig Veltri interview with the Low Stakes here on the Craig Veltri interview service of Scarfire Media, scarfireradio.net. Check out the Flame, check out the Indie Musicians catalog, and check out all the great services offered through Scarfire Media LLC. And thank you for listening to the Craig Veltri interview. As I was saying, the strongest song off of this particular album was La La Land. Just that hook alone. I've been singing it all afternoon since I gave your album my standard 3 listens. So what is that one of yours? Because that just sounds like something that just begs to have that somebody a collaborator be like, hey, check this out.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that is one of my songs. Yes. Are you asking what it's about?
I'm asking if it was one of yours plural. Or was this one of the ones that you brought?
Eric is the primary song.
That was a previous one.
Okay. So what is it about? We think La La Land, we think LA. Is it about LA?
No. I want okay, if you're a guy, we'll make this interview interesting. If you're a guy,
I am.
And I am too. Somewhere you have heard at one time in your life or another, after sex, you guys just want to roll over and go to sleep. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I might not, but not that I would do that. No, but that is, that's La La Land, one with the koala bear. And they got their eucalyptus and they're kind of like, oh man, and that's how I feel. So I decided to memorialize that in a song. And I felt like it probably hasn't been covered before.
When I said to him,
the land of post-coitus is what it is, you mean?
Yes, thank you. We weren't sure we could say that, but now that you said it and use Latin, it's cool, right? It's all things in Latin, but you can't say it otherwise, right? But I said
it's radio friendly at least, but go on.
I said, are you saying koala bear there? Is that what you're saying? He said, yeah, that's what it is. And then instantly I understood because I could picture the koala bear. But that does have a great riff to it. And it's, I know exactly what you mean, Craig. It gets stuck in my head quite a lot. And we love singing that one, and audiences always perk up.
They have no idea what the hell it's about.
Well, if they're listening carefully, they do. When they listen to the record, they'll get it, I think.
But I think, we wanted to make sure that the koala bear got represented in modern music. And I'm not sure, but I think that could be the definitive song where koala bear is actually plays a prominent role in lyrics.
It does.
Absolutely, yeah.
May I make an armchair suggestion about your stuff going forward? I believe that the band Fleetwood Mac has a penguin as a mascot in some of their promos. Perhaps yours could be a koala bear.
Wow.
We love Fleetwood Mac. So, yeah, I think we need to have a mascot.
A koala bear.
Yeah.
And that will go all the way back to the song, which goes all the way back to the fundamental idea, which is always good.
Yeah, and it has so much to do with New England, so.
What?
Well, just kidding.
How's that?
No, that was a joke.
Oh.
Yes, it wasn't funny. No. Irony.
I figured maybe the Boston Zoo had a world famous koala exhibit or something like that. I don't know.
If it does, I don't know about it.
Yeah.
Well, this album is out, and it's again, it's a really great demonstration of what you guys are doing. Are you guys looking into doing a more like a longer length piece in the next year or two with it? I know, Eric, you got many songs going back many years that you can bring to the table on this. Are you looking to further expand?
Yeah, we've already started working on it. Actually, we have a couple ones that are new, and I showed them to Ann, and we start talking about what can we do here and how should we present it. One of the issues is because we're performing as a duo right now, and I only have so much guitar skill. It's hard to get
more than most. I will say that.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that.
He's very good. What he means is that he's pretty much the only guitar.
I can only do so much. She plays some stuff, which is good, but many of the songs that I have and I want to put out really need a full band treatment. So we're building this core of a band that has a certain vocal sound and going forward, but I believe we will eventually move out to at least another musician or two to fill in, get some percussion, some bass, get something to fill it out a little more. So it's not always I pick and then I strum and then we scream. There's not much level you can get to with just a single guitar. At least I can't.
Yeah, so this is a real lo-fi version of what we envision the music being ultimately. And sometimes it's just going to be lo-fi, obviously.
Well, I mean, I did notice bass, I think, on 5 Days Over.
I snuck it in there and whack the guitar sometimes.
There's some layered guitars, and we do layered vocals in the record that we obviously can't do live.
Now, is this self-produced? Did you do this yourself? Or
yeah, down in the basement.
It's very well done. I wouldn't have known that it wasn't done in the basement. So bravo as far as the mixing of
somebody else's basement. Yeah.
No, this is it.
No, in our basement. Yeah, his basement.
Okay. Well, so do tell me your general process as far as how your songs usually come together. Are you somebody I usually phrase it like this: are you a waiter or a writer? Are you somebody that is writing every day, or are all the songs, for example, on the EP, are examples of songs that just the inspiration hit you and you had to write it?
Most likely that. My process is sort of strum and mumble, and generally I feel something's about something, whatever I'm thinking about or what I'm reading or something. Usually some piece of the song falls out and has a nice musical couch. And then I'll think, what's going on with that? And then why did that come out? Where is it in my mind that I'm thinking about that? And it's just got to dig about and mine your experiences and mine your brain for what's going on. And I don't write every day though, in some nice, like, I wish I could sit down and write half an hour a day. And I'm totally undisciplined in it, I don't do it that way.
I wouldn't call you undisciplined. I'd say that when it comes to you, it comes to you. And
yeah.
He's got some songs kicking around right now that we've been talking about. So that's where the collaboration is going to start to come in. I've got some lyrical ideas that I can add there. So he'll say, well, I've got this, this verse, and I'm not sure quite what to do with it. We'll talk about it. And often then we'll just start talking about what in his life might have started this that I relate to. And so it's not exactly clear when it's all going to come together.
Yeah, I never know. I think the first 5 songs I wrote, I thought, well, I got lucky again. Another fluke. So,
got lucky again. What do you mean by that?
Well, you write one song, you go, I'm not really a songwriter, but that was kind of a song. I got lucky, and then another fluke, and then another fluke, and then after like 10 of them, I go, maybe I do this. I don't know. I never saw myself. I was just trying to be a guitar player. And ended up singing, and then I ended up writing. And next thing I'm doing this.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing either, but it felt good and sounded good to me. And I continued to seek that validation every day. We're here with the Low Stakes, Eric Colville and Ann Holbrook on the Craig Veltri Interview on the Scarfire Media Podcast Network. Now, if the answer to this question is none of my business, I will take that answer. Is the relationship between you two purely professional?
No, I'm married.
He said it's purely professional. The answer is yes.
Oh, yes. I'm not. Yes, I thought you were going the other way, but we are purely professional. And
he brings a briefcase and shit.
That's right. Yeah. Crazy. And we've known each other really only like 17 months or something.
Well, yeah, we met each other at the Craigslist, and that's all we've been doing.
So yes, it's purely professional, but we're great friends too now. Yeah. We hang out. In fact, I don't know if you can hear the cats rumbling about, but there's a whole menagerie here. I like to come visit.
If you haven't been asked already, so I usually don't
ask us that. They almost always say, "Are you two married?
Yeah, right.
You seem as if you're married." Like, no, that's my husband over there. But that's
probably the best answer I heard to that was Trey Twitty and Taylor Lynn, who are the respective grandchildren of Conway Twitty and Loretta Lynn. They've since formed a duo, and I got to see them last year in Myrtle Beach. And Trey gets on the microphone and says, people ask all the time, are me and Taylor married? And well, Taylor is married and I'm happy.
Good. Nice.
I'm not going to ask Eric that question. Yeah. Whether he's happy. I mean, yeah.
Of course not. You're a songwriter. Come on.
The songs give you pause, but it does show. At least there is a lot of optimism in a lot of these songs. Even though you talk about something about the dash. It's not a definitive statement of love loss. It does just acknowledges it in any way. So is that kind of your perspective in general about the songs that you come out with, that there is hope out there, broadly speaking?
I never think about it. I was talking to my girlfriend the other day, and remember the Let It Be album in the back? There's the four Beatles.
Yep.
And I used to look at McCartney and think, okay, he's the melodic one, kind of father figure, and then Lennon's subversive, and then there's Ringo's kind of happy-go-lucky funny.
Happy
then
to be
there's the
there.
deep one, George Harrison, is deep and thoughtful. And to me, it was always like it can be any of those things. And I have songs that are almost jazz, for God's sakes. I mean, I don't ever think I need to write a song to sound like X. I just, whatever I feel suits the lyric is what the song should be, which is a bit of a problem today because everybody wants, are you folk? Are you, this, I was at Colville Folk Festival, and I realized about halfway through, I'm not a folkie. I have folky type music, but I'm not really a folkie.
Yeah, it's hard to describe. And Eric has a lot of bluesy, very funny tunes. So when we're performing live, we mix them up, right? Yeah. So we'll go from something like The Dash, which is, musically and lyrically beautiful, I think, and pretty serious, although not pessimistic, just more, this is the human condition, right? To, a song about underwear inspectors. Or about there is a song, it's called Number 12. And or bookstore blues, about playing in a bookstore and calling it by the wrong name and not being sure how to sing, in a bookstore, which isn't exactly a bar. So there are a lot of different moods, and certainly the new record that we're working on has songs that sound very different from these too.
I think what happens a lot, I've described this before, is after I write The Dash, I'm kind of hung down from it. It's a deep subject. So then I tend to write something dumb, just for comic relief.
Stupid.
Yeah, STOOPID. It's comic relief for me. So that's what I'll do.
I have a few of those songs in there as well because I like to think that this is entertainment at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So you would hope that nobody, if they're weeping, at least the song is gonna make them dance. Probably the best quote I heard from Tom Waits: "They never fit into a song. I like it when beautiful melodies tell me horrible things."
Yeah,
that's
really nice.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
You become affected by your own song, and it gets kind of heavy writing them sometimes. So going the other way kind of clears the slate for me a bit.
Townes Van Zandt said his songs weren't sad; they're hopeless. He says blues is happy music, right? Because his songs are very bleak at some level, but they have beautiful melodies that tell you very sad things too. So
his most famous Pancho and Lefty, what did it all mean, for Lefty at this point? This poor lonely guy, and his brother's buried in the desert somewhere. So
Pancho needs your prayers, it's true, but save a few for Lefty too. Yeah, great line.
So, you keep talking about the upcoming record. Does this record have a name, and does it have a projected release date?
No. We just started. We thought, okay, when we started, we were at zero. So, starting from now, we're getting a record out. We're releasing it song by song. Let's get started on the next one, so we're not in this kind of weird pause between the next one. But we haven't even decided which songs are on it. We just started. This one's going to be on it. Let's start working on it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that thing.
And as far, obviously, you guys have some dates around the New Hampshire area up towards the end of the year. Is there a plan to get outside of the New England area by year's end, probably before it starts snowing?
Well, they won't let you leave after November. You can't leave, so I hope so.
Yeah, we hope so. Again, we're new, and as you well know, Craig, getting into venues when you're new and you can't point to a history of what you've done, etc., makes it difficult. But ultimately, we would like to have people hear the music.
Philadelphia would be an idea.
Would be a great idea, right? And do some house concerts around the country with people that we know, and then maybe go from there. So we'll go anywhere if it sounds like a good place to go. We can.
Well, good luck with all of that. We have a nice way of closing here on the Craig Veltri interview. It is called the No Kidding Questionnaire. A couple of rapid fire questions. First thing that comes to your mind, whenever you're ready, and away we go. Childhood celebrity crush, ladies first.
George Harrison.
Was it the as Eric was bringing up, him being deep, or was he just that darned cute?
Actually, I thought I looked a lot like him, and I just picked him up because everybody. I did that. Everybody loved when
Is
he
it-
was
News to me,
22.
yes.
Is it too late to get a paternity test?
Well, I could also throw Donny Osmond out there. Okay.
Okay.
God.
That's really what you want to hear. Okay, because that is also true. Yeah.
They call it puppy love.
Don't get me started.
So when can we expect to hear the "I'm a little bit country and he's a little bit rock and roll" cover?
Never.
Never. I'm like, oh God, I just like ugh, I felt uneasy
No.
just suggesting it. How about you, Eric? Childhood celebrity crush?
I was just a Beatles fan. What can I tell you? You know, I mean, it was always, is it John or Paul or John? You know, I was probably a McCartney guy. What can I say?
What was your favorite subject in school?
What?
English.
You were an English kid, okay? Were
Yeah.
you big on sentence structure, or was it poetry and literature?
I'll tell you a little secret. I am an English professor. So
Really?
yeah, so serious literature. I love to read, love poetry since I was a kid. So
Did you go for a master's or a doctorate
I
beforehand?
have a PhD. Yeah.
You have a PhD. Okay, so Dr. Holbrook, what
Yes,
did you do a
finally.
thesis? Did you
I
do a
did. I did a PhD dissertation on the novels of Rebecca West, who was a very famous journalist and novelist in her day, a real talking head. You can find it. It's a book called Paradoxical Feminism, The Novels of Rebecca West, if you really want to read it. I also edited a book about Townes Van Zandt, just in case you're wondering.
wow?
So, yeah.
I look forward to that conversation.
Great.
Eric, favorite subject in school?
I was a math and science guy. You know, it's more, you know, math, science, they're basically related. So back in the day, I liked all the science and math courses, which is kind of weird.
Did you have a preference, one that really captured your, I guess, imagination, or your really fascinated you?
Well, the first one that really, I mean, a lot of math is you build up to things, you know, but calculus was the first time that I realized, wow, you can actually do stuff with this. I mean, there's actual ways to apply, you know, calculus to real life situations, which is the first time I realized, Jesus, all this math I'm taking actually has a use, you know. And then,
For example, because it took me 3 tries to pass college algebra.
I never did.
well, I mean, for example, they're kind of dumb things, but I still remember there's something that was like an oval pool, and you got water coming in at one rate and going out at another, and how do you, you know, figure out, you know, what's happening? It was like an oval, but it came to a point, you know. Just I can't do it now. I've forgotten more than I ever knew at this point, but you know.
Well, Dr. Holbrook, what job? Last time, I promise. What job would you never want? What job other than your own would you want to attempt?
Oh, wow.
Singer.
Yeah, basically doing nothing but being a musician full time. Like go back to when I was a kid and just go there. I also wanted to be an actor at one time, studied acting in New York, and so that would be the other one. Some kind of performer regularly.
You say study in New York. Are we talking Actors Studio, AMDA?
I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts for a year.
AMDA, yeah.
Yeah. It's actually ADA. AMDA's American Musical Dramatic Arts. But
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Don't correct me.
I'm sorry. See, there I go. I'm being the English teacher and I'm correcting you.
See what I did?
I'm happy for the correction. I'm a teachable host.
Yeah.
That's so you're in good hands with that one.
I love it.
So, Eric, what about you? What occupation other than your own would you like to attempt?
Why don't my occupation actually was I was an engineer, believe it or not, structural engineer.
Well, the math thing, I
and
find it
I
not
don't
that surprising.
Yeah, I don't recommend that. I'm doing right now what I want to be doing, which is, you know, you get started, you're a young kid, you don't know what to do. My dad was an architect and using construction, so it's kind of what you know. If I could do it again, I would probably be much more in line with what Ann did as far as follow up music more. And I started reading much later in life a lot of things. I met some really clever people that kind of turned me on to a whole lot of books, which kind of changed my life.
And now he knows me, and I keep giving him books.
Yeah, so I'm like, you must have books. And
yeah,
she does.
I did.
Got a large pile.
I totally agree with the it's what you know thing, because to get to where I am today, I'm not going to name names, but it was a fight to get here for sure. So, on the other side of the coin, I don't care how many bags of money have been handed to you, and what job would you never want to attempt? And yes, it can be one you've already done.
Would I never want to attempt? I do not want to be in politics.
Very popular answer.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. How about you, Eric?
Engineer. And I did it. It's just too hard, man. It's like no one really values it. You're the out of sight, and you're only just pissing people off because you tell them you can't do that. And of course, when stuff goes wrong, it's always your fault. And it's there's a lot of responsibility. You design something wrong, it falls down, and that's not fun. So you can never just phone it in. You always have to really be thinking, and that was just too much. I don't want to do it anymore. So.
Well, this is probably my favorite question to ask on here, especially with people who have such ties to certain regions. What is your go-to food on a road trip?
Oh, wow. Salads. That's
Salads.
really a boring answer, isn't it? But I'm desperately seeking healthy food on a road trip, so probably a salad and French toast.
There you go. Do you have a preferred roadside diner to get that French toast, or do you make a mean one yourself?
I do actually. There's a great diner in the New Hampshire area called the Red Arrow that I love.
Eric?
I'm always looking for something unusual, like Indian or something that I haven't had when I'm on the road, because it's a different area, a different region. I mean, sure, I'm a pizza fiend. I always eat pizza, but I'm always trying to find something. I think we were in took my son out to Oberlin to look at the college at one point, and I forget the name of the place, but it's some kind of Middle Eastern Alibabas or some kind of typical name like that. And it was fantastic, So I love trying new things that are not regional to where I am.
I keep passing by a couple of Indian restaurants in Nashville. I've been passing by them for 10 years now at this point. I think this will be the trip that I pull the trigger and actually give it a try. Pray for my soul. Speaking of food, now that we build up the appetite for it, if you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, Anne, who would it be?
Oh, Jane Austen.
Pride and Prejudice and all those, all the novels that certain women in my life are very fond of. What was it about Jane that would that you'd want to pick her brain about?
Jane Austen was very subtle. She used irony. She was a radical in the guise of a conservative status quo person. And the more you read her, the more you understand what she did. She revolutionized the novel in ways that still are influential today. And she did so as the seventh of 8 children of a country parson with, no particular money or status, not much formal education. So she was an astonishingly creative person in circumstances that would not usually have produced someone like her. And I'd like to just know what she was like. She was witty. She was really, really funny. So I bet she'd be funny.
I'll give it this after let's just say I passively watched the Colin Firth miniseries a couple of times in my life.
Yeah, I hate that series. Sorry.
You do? Okay. Well, even so, the dialogue is just real. It's still really punchy.
Yeah. Well, the reason I say that, and I didn't mean to bite your head off, by the way, but is
Not at
that
all.
the books themselves are much smarter than the adaptations of them are. There's so much more going on, and I always say you got to read the book and not watch the movie.
It's
But
always that way.
yeah,
Right?
but she does tell a great
It
story.
Jaws, the book Jaws. I mean,
And Craig, you know, you're absolutely right. Her dialogue and her stories are great, which is why Hollywood loves Jane Austen. She's, you know, the hottest screenwriter in Hollywood, people say. So,
Certainly the most
and I'll
influential.
stop there. Yeah.
Oh, trust me, I could go on and on. So thank you. Eric, dinner with anyone dead or alive, who would it be?
it's probably not a exciting choice, but I actually like to have dinner with my father's father, my grandfather,
Hmm.
at this point in my life. And because there's so much that has happened to our family, and I'd like to know where he was and who he was and the circumstances that he lived in. When you're a kid, you know, you don't know these questions. You're just the old guy, you know. But as time's gone on, I really wanted to know more about that. And, you know, you can look it up on one of those sites, ancestry.com. I don't know, but
Yeah.
that doesn't give you that information. I was like, who is this man? What made him tick? What made everything happen the way it happened? That would be most interesting to me.
Honestly, it's the answer that I give whenever anybody asks the question to me. Yeah, not just my paternal grandfather, but my maternal grandfather, whom I've never met, but I hear so many stories of. Jazz bass player, merchant marine, got his way through Georgetown with that. A very smart man, but never, he died before I was born.
Yeah.
And he married my grandmother, who in many ways encouraged my writing. So all four of them, I would love one more dinner with them for sure. So
You only gave me one, so
well, if I had to pick one, it would be my grandfather, just to meet him. So
Yeah.
agreed. What is you are from New England? I'm sure it's a mile long. And what is your biggest pet peeve?
Mm. Uh, New England isn't a very friendly place. People don't, they're a little suspicious, a little paranoid.
I'm dating a girl from Boston. I have an aunt from Boston that married into the family. I know.
Okay. So you understand. Thank you.
for me, it's uniformity. I mean, there are just not much diversity here. I went once recently to Philadelphia, and we were sitting in a Wegmans or something eating dinner, and I was looking through with my son. And I said, you know, look at all the different kind of people that are here. It seems like they're literally kind of. I know it's not true, but like one very narrow type of person. They all seem very much the same. And I like a little more diversity. I lived for many years in Miami, which was totally a weird melting pot of everything. So I'm kind of used to that. So it does feel a little boring in that respect to me.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh is definitely a very diverse town. I've been to Miami as well, and I you hear the horror stories about South Boston and stuff that said at Bruins games. It's not it is disheartening that still permeates in this day and age. But hopefully. Hopefully, this is the last growing pain that we have to go through as a society through it. That's at least that's my hope of it.
Yeah.
One can only hope.
Yes. Normally, this is the last question of the questionnaire, but one of you will get a bonus question after this one. What is the best advice that anyone has ever given you?
Trust in the process. Everything is a process, and enjoy the process as it happens instead of expecting everything to be satisfied to make you happy when you get to the end of it.
How about you, Eric?
I was going to use that one, but I'll say.
Too bad I
got it. Well played.
Because we talk about process.
Well, we talk about that a lot.
We do. Yeah.
I would just say to try to live in the moment, because it's actually the only time you truly can live. You really, future isn't guaranteed. The past is the past. I'm probably a little bit guilty of living in the past more than I should. So I'm always trying to update my timeline to right now, because that's really all we have.
Completely agree. Now, the bonus question goes to anybody that has revealed that they have been or are a teacher. I call it the Lonnie Billard Memorial Question, which is as followed. Dr. Ann Holbrook,
Yes.
maybe not the best advice that you have ever given your students, but what is the most common advice that you've found yourself giving your students?
This is a cliche again. It's to follow your dream. Don't get hung up on what it is you think you're going to get out of an education. You're not trying to get through a required course. You're in it. Pay attention to it. Don't tell yourself, oh, everything I'm doing is a means to an end. Don't miss your life. That's what I say to them. Don't miss your youth, because it's easy to do. Worrying about what it is you're trying to get later.
By the same token, don't miss your adulthood and your middle age and your old age on top of that. I think we're all susceptible to that.
Oh yeah.
Lately I have been.
Yeah.
Well, this is the part of the interview that I think every guest should enjoy the most. It is time for shameless self-promotion. The new album is available on SoundCloud and on your website. Please remind the nice people of that. And where can we find you elsewhere on the interwebs and out on the road? Fire away.
Well, the album will be available on Bandcamp, but it's going to be on streaming services. I believe the date is
August 29th. So 2 days.
2 days, yes.
All right. So by the time this episode airs, it will be fully available on all the streaming.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. Well, I've enjoyed listening to it. I can't wait for this puppy to get out there and into everybody's eardrums. And hopefully they get to see you guys live. You're incredible on record. And it's been wonderful talking to you guys this afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me today here on the Craig Veltri Interview.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you, Craig.
It was fun.
The Craig Veltri Interview, where Craig Veltri interviews wonderful people, is a production of Scarfire Media, the voice of the independent arts. Written and edited by Craig Veltri. Your announcer is Megan Pennington. The opening theme, Shut Up, I Love You, written by Trenton Chandler and Craig Veltri. Performed by Craig Veltri. Produced by Jack Gavin. The latest single is Saving Up Dreams, and it is available now on all streaming along with all of my music. Time now to update the event calendar, because you must know where I am at all times. Brought to you in part by Sandpiper Entertainment. Saturday, September 13th, The Grumpy Monk, Broadway at the Beach in Myrtle Beach from 6 to 9 p.m. Then Sunday, September 14th, heading right back to the Berg for the NSAI Pittsburgh Songwriter Showcase at Steamworks Creative in Gibsonia, from 6:30 to 8. I will announce once more that I will be performing a birthday weekend celebration. Again, I say this so angrily because birthday. You can't have a birthday weekend because you already had a day. Words have meaning, people. But because on September 19th, I'm playing a gig at Munhall Main Street Tavern from 9 to midnight. Midnight begins the 20th, and that officially is my 40th birthday. To celebrate the birthday proper, however, I will be playing on September 20th at the Grumpy Beaver Pub in Bridgewater, Pennsylvania from 8 to 11 p.m. So come to one, come to both. I'd love to see you come out there. If you're listening to this program, you're definitely a friend of mine. So please come out. Help me celebrate. Would love to see you there at my 40th birthday weekend celebration. For full dates, go to craigveltri.bandzoogle.com. For booking info, including full band and this podcast, email me at craigveltriofficial@gmail.com. You can find the interview by searching the Craig Veltri Interview, YouTube at Craig Veltri Music, and you can find me on Instagram, or as my old roommate, the Tommy Thomas, used to call it, Instagirl, at Craig Veltri. I'm Craig Veltri, and this has been the Craig Veltri Interview. With that, I'll pass. Off their self-titled EP, here's The Low Stakes with La La Land on the Craig Veltri Interview, proud member of the Scarfire Media Podcast Network.
Gonna hang up all my hang-ups, gonna put away my cares, 'cause I know you'll be waiting in that little room upstairs. You're my window on another world, my doorway to a dream. You're the only way I know to go, the only one that's taking me to La 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 Land. Made me one with the koala bear, too deaf and dumb to understand. La 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 Land. so good to feel so good to feel alive again. Now I know what's gonna happen when I open up that door. And even though I've come around 1,000 times before, I believe that I could find a place that needs to be explored. Let me dive into your ocean. I will wash up on the shore and la 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 land. Made me one with a koala bear, too deaf and dumb to understand. La 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 land, where it feels so good to feel so good to feel alive again. Please don't begrudge me my oblivion. It's the only thing I know that keeps me from giving up and giving in to a world that can be so endlessly conspiring to strip me of my senses, with telephones and traffic jams to weaken my defenses. But I can rise above them all so long as I am free to wander around this heaven I found here within your sanctuary. La 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 land, made me one with a koala bear, too deaf and dumb to understand. La 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 land, where it feels so good to feel so good to feel alive again. 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 Alive